Hi, I'm Auntie Tem, and I do content on mental health awareness, mental illness, and also how to adult. So, if you are a regular viewer, welcome back. If you are brand new here, welcome. And I hope you'll find something that you will find useful. Now, October is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm tackling a couple of issues on mental health awareness. So, what are we doing today? We're asking a very interesting question because this was asked of me. And the question is, how do you know if it's depression or if you are going through just a tough time? Tough question, but a good one. You know, we all go through sadness. We all experience tough times where we find ourselves feeling low and down, and mentally tired, um, feeling a little bit depressed mood, sad, grief. Grief is a big one if we've lost someone or something. Um, we've been through a pandemic. We've had a lot of losses to contend with, not just losing people, also losing jobs, losing the way we normally live our lives. I mean, that's had a big impact. So, um, how do you know if it's just a tough time? Well, let's rather start with what the symptoms of clinical depression is, because um, it's so easy to be mislabeled. It's so easy to go into the doctor and say, I'm feeling this, and they refer you to somebody, and then they say, oh, but you've got depression, when really you are just having a difficult time. You're struggling, you're feeling sad, you're grieving. It's absolutely normal and natural to grieve the loss of somebody or something. That is completely normal, and that will manifest in many different ways. Yes, grief can lead to depression if that grief is unresolved or if that grief is got a lot of components to it. I mean, that stands to reason. Any kind of big shock we have in our lives could lead to a form of suffering mentally. So let's take a look first of all at what we're looking at when we're looking at clinical depression. Now, clinical depression is the actual name that's given to depression itself. What you will find in clinical depression is that there is a deeper sense of sadness, a sense of sadness that is so massive that you just don't feel that there is a single way out of it. You are extremely emotional. You might find that you are crying at the drop of a hat, um, which can be quite also again embarrassing for you. Obviously, the feeling of sadness, but I cannot describe. It's not like a regular sadness. It's not like I'm feeling sad. It's it's like a bottomless pit of darkness. It is ugly. Depression, you feel hopeless. Um, you start losing interest in the things that used to give you pleasure. For instance, I started to lose my interest in karate and drawing and painting and reading. You might become irritable, short-tempered, memory and focus isn't that great, insomnia or sleeping too much. But then again, that could also be part of grief or sadness. So, how do you actually, kind of get into what makes up depression? Well, in depression, you will probably find that you have a lot more feelings of thoughts of death, thoughts of committing suicide or attempting to commit suicide. Um, your weight may fluctuate, either it goes up or goes down. There is pain as well in your body. I've experienced pain in my joints, stomach pain, a lot of headaches, So you might experience physical symptoms like that as well. You might also find that your use of drugs or alcohol may increase, or you are binge eating too much, or shopping too much. You're using some form of distraction. You may begin to start isolating yourself from others. You stop being social. You stop going out and hanging out with friends. maybe some anxiety and panic attacks as well. And quite extreme would be obviously the suicidal ideation and action, as well as self-harms, which could be part of it. The thing, what they say is that these symptoms need to be persistent for a period of 2 to 3 months. So you're experiencing them consistently every single day for a period of at least 2 to 3 months for it to be labeled clinical depression. However, it's always a good idea if you are unsure of where your feelings stand, whether it's feelings of I'm just feeling really sad or am I depressed, is to check that out with somebody who is a professional. Because if you are experiencing depression, there are treatments available. There is help at the ready. If you are feeling a sadness or grief which doesn't resolve, then still go to therapy, still talk it out, because keeping all of that stuff in, regardless of whether it's just a tough time or whether it is clinical depression, regardless, it's important to talk to somebody. It's important to get that stuff out. It's important to unburden yourself, because it makes things a lot easier for your recovery, whether it's a recovery from grief and sadness or whether it's a recovery from clinical depression. And now I hope that helps you, and I hope you have much happy healing. I do hope that you find these videos useful, and please, with any questions or comments, comment below, and let's open the conversation. Have a good day, and may you make good things happen.